Nothing can prepare you for the transformation that happens when you become a parent for the first time, but there's truly no way to imagine what it will feel like when a doctor calls you and tells you that your child was born with a disease that has no treatment and no cure and will leave them with a severe disability. My son Teddy is 3.5 years old and he was born with CTNNB1 syndrome. I am making this video to raise awareness and funds for this condition. I had Teddy when I was 25 years old, and the last thing on your mind as a first-time young mum is that anything could be wrong with your baby. So on the weekend of my first Mother's Day, we received a call from the paediatrician's office. The paediatrician let us know that the genetic testing had come back and Teddy was diagnosed with CTNNB1 syndrome. Receiving the news of Teddy's diagnosis was hard to absorb, and it was difficult to really understand the gravity of the situation in that moment. I think at first I didn't realise how permanent, how severe, how life-changing this diagnosis would be for him and for our family. And it wasn't until actually a few days later, where I had done some of my own research, looked up in scientific articles and found an online community, where it really sunk in that this will change his life in every single way. Teddy is unable to walk or talk. He still wears nappies, cannot dress himself, and requires assistance with feeding. Despite the incredible effort and persistence he shows at daily therapy appointments, his progress is slow, and it is likely he will need full-time care his entire life. Unfortunately, overcoming these battles falls a lot on our shoulders, and it just means that our life looks a little different than we would have hoped.
CTNNB1 syndrome is a genetic disease. That means that the disease is caused by a mutation in the gene. Unfortunately, there is no cure or treatment for the disease itself. The project started about 3.5 years ago, and very little was known about the disease. We designed the potential treatment options. We managed to validate the technology, bring it to the stage where it's now ready to enter the clinical evaluation in CTNNB1 patients. For the CTNNB1 patients and the families, if successful, it could be a game changer. It would be potentially a single dose of medication. The children will have a chance at normal development and catching up with their peers.
Because CTNNB1 syndrome is so rare, with less than 500 recorded cases worldwide, there is no interest from large, profit-driven pharmaceutical companies to fund this research. Therefore, the burden of fundraising for the development, testing, and manufacture of gene therapy falls on the shoulders of families like ours. As you can imagine, this work is extremely costly, so we are dependent on the support of our community and generous donors to progress this research to the next stage and to help us make our dream a reality. Knowing that a potential cure for our child exists and not being able to access it due to funding limitations is truly heartbreaking. We have seen the miracle of gene therapy work for other genetic diseases, and we are so desperate to witness that miracle for ourselves and to see our son enjoy the life he deserves. With your help, we are confident that one day our son will have the chance to experience all the things he is currently unable to. We dream of the day that we get to watch Teddy run in the backyard with his siblings and hear him say, "I love you." By making a donation or sharing our story with your friends and your family, you're making a huge difference in Teddy's life and also the lives of other children living with this condition around the world.